week's edition of Staying Connected. It's so good to be with you. It was so great this past Sunday to begin services again outdoors, right out here on our lawn. We've got some shade out there. We had 2 full services. Such a great time to be back together. So we're open on Sundays again, 9 and 10:15 a.m. if you want to join us. Please know we're going to continue providing everything that we're doing on Sunday mornings on our online content as we have been all along on our YouTube channel. You know what I want to do this week is kind of bring an update for everybody about what's going on around the world with all of our missionaries. So how is COVID affecting the rest of the world? How is COVID affecting our missionaries? And all of them are being affected in some way. In one way or another, it's affecting how they are doing ministry right now. And so I just thought I'd take us on a quick journey around the world. If you would just come along with me. I want to begin in Chile, where we've been ministering there for many, many years. And got several people that are working down in Chile to preach the gospel. Doug and Shelley Callistad, they are there. They've been leading the team for a long, long time. They've been working literally from their house since March. Just about a week and a half ago, they got permission to start moving out into the streets a little bit, but they are completely on a lockdown there. It's been actually much more strict than here in California, and so interesting that they're doing that. Everything they're doing is online, trying to minister to their people. Carlos and Jamie Ampuero, which Jamie is Doug and Shelley's daughter, only live 15 minutes away from Doug and Shelley. They run the institute for us down there in Chile, the Bible Institute. They've been putting everything online. They haven't been able to see Doug and Shelley, even though they live 15 minutes away, since March. Gus and Carissa Guevara, who are down in the south of Chile, in Lautaro, have been ministering there as well, doing everything via Zoom calls and ministering online. So it's been a challenge for them. And then lastly, Jeff and Kathy Phillips, who really lead the mission overall. Jeff has been just doing an incredible job, but he's been spending his life online and on Zoom, just talking to everybody that is involved in the mission. So Chile is in that place of a pretty severe lockdown. Dan and Danielle Henschel are going to actually be with us here coming up this weekend here in California. But you remember they started back in Guatemala. They left and went there in March, and just a few weeks later they had to come out of Guatemala because of COVID. And they've been in Indiana and living there this whole time, kind of waiting this out. They're here now in California. They're going to be on their way back to Guatemala in October, Lord willing, going to a place where they will still be kind of in a lockdown mode, but at least being able to be there and start being able to interact with their neighbors and find out who they are. Rick and Luz Zapata are in Spain, okay? Another couple that we are supporting. They are in southern Spain, ministering on behalf of Ibero-American Ministries. Rick still has his connections to South Africa, but he's working with our connections there in Spain, particularly reaching out to the Muslim world. But basically the same story with them. They've been kind of working from home by and large these last 6 months, just recently being able to get out and move about a little bit more, kind of in a little bit more the vein of here in California, but still not meeting with anybody in person, all done online. And so be praying for Rick and Luz Zapata. Niños de Baja is the orphanage that we support down in El Porvenir, Mexico. What a beautiful ministry that is. They minister to all these kids that are there in this home. But you got to understand what it's been like for them. You know, normally there's all these groups that come in almost every single weekend. There are groups from the States, from various churches all over the States going to minister there at Niños de Baja. And they bring in supplies and they can minister to the kids. Well, that's all been cut off. And so supplies and a lot of the things that they need have not been able to be delivered down to El Porvenir like they normally would have. And so they've had to face some challenges. The house parents have literally been with the kids 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for all these many months. But they've been so creative. They've been doing crafts with their kids. They planted a garden this summer and actually raised a substantial amount of their food. But what's really beautiful is that the community around them, because they've been ministering in the community around them has kind of risen up, and they've been extending a hand to help the kids there at Niños de Baja. You know, restaurateurs are bringing by food and things like that just to help them out right there in their community. It's been a beautiful thing. You know, many of you went down to South Africa with us, and we have the ministry that's going on down there in the Cambridge Township in East London, South Africa, and Pastor Vuyo has been ministering there. Again, they've been find creative ways to minister to their community. They've been doing some giveaways for groceries and things like that, where they do that at the church. People can come and get bags of groceries to help sustain them. But church there is not meeting. They aren't able to do that. So Vuyo has been doing everything online and trying to minister to his community as well. Jackson Arus, who lives up in northern Kenya, in the Turkana land area, a place that just seems like, wow, could COVID touch this? Because it's so far away from everything. I mean, when I've gone to Turkana, I really feel like I'm literally at the ends of the earth because it's so far from everything. It's in the desert, and people live in small villages and huts and things like that. But COVID has reached there to Turkana as well. And so Arus, again, is finding creative ways to minister to the many church clusters that he has been ministering to through the various times. And he's doing a lot of things online and finding ways to just minister to his people. He also, along with some of the youth in the area, planted a huge garden there where they've been able to raise melons and things like that, not only for sustenance of food, but they've been able to sell those to kind of help people who've been really struggling during COVID. Our ministry in Indonesia, Asia Pacific International, which has over 250 churches across the archipelago of Indonesia, is finding themselves in the same kind of place. Our pastors there are finding creative ways to connect to their congregations. Some of them have been able to meet in person. Many haven't been. It depends on the areas that they're in. Around the greater Jakarta area, home to over 30 million people, that's pretty much on a lockdown right now. And so it's been a real challenge to actually reach out to people. Trying to do things online also in village areas where people don't have online access has been a real challenge for them. And so they just need our prayers, but they have high spirits. They still believe. They still are just trusting God that he's going to provide, and he is continue to work in the hearts of the people around them. So just keep them in your prayers. So I bring all of this to you so that you understand that, man, this has been going on everywhere, and everybody is really struggling. And the way we can offer help is by praying and being faithful to them. I'm so thankful to our church family here at CCTO for your faithfulness and your gifts and all these things. We have been able to do some things above and beyond what we would normally do for our missionaries around the world to kind of help them through this time, just to kind of sustain them in a financial way as well as with our prayers. And so I'm grateful for that, for our CCTO family. I'm grateful for all of you. So that's a real quick trip around the world, but I wanted to give you that so you kind of see what's happening. And God bless all of you. And if you're going to be here, I'd love to see you this coming Sunday. If I don't see you here at church, we'll see you online. God bless you.